Top 5 reasons the Earth and the universe may not be as old as we were taught. Number 5. Human documented history. According to the accepted narrative, humans evolved to our present form 180,000 years ago. However, the earliest documented writing only occurred 5,000 years ago. So according to the official story, mankind roamed the plains for 175,000 years. And then all of a sudden, full-blown civilization. Reading, writing, government, the pyramids. Put that in perspective. In 250 years, we went from horse-drawn carriages to AI. And this narrative coincides with the human population growth. Once again, you have this idea that for 175,000 years, there was no development, no progression. 1 million people just trying not to starve to death. Then they water plants.
Farming arises in many different places, totally unconnected with each other. And that is the beginning of civilization.
And we go from 1 million people to 8 billion people 5,000 years later. We have accurately observed the rate of human population growth for all of recorded history. And it charts a consistent rate of growth. But if you try and apply the same population growth percentage back in time, even to 30,000 years ago, you end up with hundreds of trillions of people. So what's more likely? For 97% of the history of humanity, there was no growth, and then 8 billion people? Or maybe this all just began a lot more recently than they want to believe. Number 4, the magnetic field. Because of the second law of thermodynamics, everything is tending to disorder. So things that are hot get colder. Energy dissipates. And we see this with the magnetic field. The magnetic field, which protects us from solar radiation, unsurprisingly is losing its power, like everything does. Your cell phone battery, running out of gas in your car. This rate of energy loss has been measured for only 200 years. And since according to science, the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, you'd expect that a measurement of 200 years would result in a minimal loss of energy, but it doesn't. In the 200 years since we started measuring the magnetic field, it's lost 9% of its total power. The scientific narrative says that the magnetic field recharges itself every 100,000 or million years or whatever they need through a pole shift where the magnetic field regenerates. But what would cause a pole shift? Maybe something catastrophic, like a global flood? If the pole shift happened as a result of the global flood 5,300 years ago, then you would expect an exponential decay. Number 3, the salinity of the oceans. Everybody knows that the oceans are salty, but were they always salty? Scientists actually believe that at one point, all of the oceans were basically fresh water. So where did the salt come from? Because of the water cycle, rain falls on the rocks, stripping the minerals into rivers and then out into the ocean. Then in the ocean, the water of course evaporates, leaving the salt behind. This salt just builds up. The measurement of salt in the oceans has actually been recorded for 50 years now. And considering they believe that the water in the oceans got here, however, 4.5 billion years ago, 50 years versus 4.5 billion years, which is 0.00000000125%. You'd expect to see that that small percentage is the amount that the ocean salinity has increased, but this isn't the case. In 50 years, from 0 to 2,000 meters, the oceans have become 1.6% more salty. And that's nothing. At the surface level, it's gotten 7.5% saltier in 50 years. The oceans are going to be a salt block in like 1,000 years. But don't worry, they have a rescuing device. Climate change. Convenient. Number 2, comets. What is a comet made of? Comets are made largely of rock and ice, and the tail of the comet, known as the coma, is created as the sun obliterates the comet. Like a peeling out tire. It leaves a streak, looks cool, but you can't peel out forever. Eventually you're gonna run out of tire, and eventually comets are gonna run out of coma, which means that a comet can't exist forever, or even very long on a cosmic scale. Scientists estimate that comets only last 10,000 to tens of thousands of years, and since they believe the universe is 13.8 billion years, this is a problem. If a comet only lasts 100,000 years, that is 140,000th of the universe's life. But never fear, science has an answer. The Oort cloud. It's proposed that the Oort cloud exists way out at the end of the solar system and is filled with comets that occasionally get knocked in towards the sun. So it's not that the universe is younger than they think, it's that there's a comet generating machine spitting comets our way. Only problem? The Oort cloud is entirely made up. Yeah, entirely theoretical. It's too far away to be observed by our telescopes. So the only place the Oort cloud actually exists is in textbooks.
Ta-da! That's how comets are made.
The number 1 reason the Earth may not be as old as we were taught: soft tissues have been found in dinosaur fossils. Dinosaurs that are supposed to be 75 million, 100 million years old. When Mary Schweitzer first found the soft tissue, it upended the scientific community.
That's really what happened?
Yes.
That's the dinosaur bone?
No, don't worry. We'll figure this out. Yeah, we found that soft tissue in there because of cross-linking, you see? And then guess what? Multiple samples of dinosaur fossils have been sent out for carbon dating, and they all yielded the result of 23,000 to 38,000 years old. Manager of the biology department at California State University at Northridge, Mark Armitage, actually found a horn of a triceratops, broke it open, found collagen, and showed the scientific world. And how did they respond? By firing him. Yeah, fired. Don't come around here with your discoveries. They're messing up our whole thing, man. The dinosaurs need to be old. They need to be a long time ago. Can't have no young dinosaur. Get your horn and get out of here. I understand this is a huge claim, and it goes against everything you were taught. But these data are actually consistent with the laws of physics and what we would expect to see if the universe is younger than we were taught. So what do you think? Does the discovery of watering plants, pole shifts, climate change, the Oort cloud, and cross-linking justify all of these anomalies? Or is it possible that the Earth and the universe may not be as old as we are taught they are?